The American Red Cross, the American Red Cross. It is amazing what they do during a natural disaster. They seem to always be the first ones there with personnel, equipment, assets, supplies. Man, it's a salute to them, and we're going to lean in to find more about what the organization is up to. But Trevor, thanks for joining us. When it comes to logistics, I don't know that any company or organization does it better, because you are there when it matters.
Well, you've really captured the heart of disaster relief, and it is logistics. It's the ability to move resources and people all across the country just in time, making sure you're balancing the risk with the what resources we have at hand. So right now, we have 2,000 volunteers on the ground all across the country, more than 450 volunteers on the ground in Hawaii. We're standing up resources all along the East Coast, from Long Island all the way to the Bay of Fundy, to make sure we can deal with the potential impacts of Hurricane Lee. And inside of all that is a very complex logistics program, working with a lot of partners to make sure we're stationed in position for whatever the disaster may bring us.
It truly, truly is amazing what the American Red Cross does. We salute you, but I do want you to look at the statistics. What are they telling you? Because it seems over this last decade alone, the natural disasters are increasing, it just seems like exponentially.
So we are seeing nearly twice as many disasters since 10 years ago on the Red Cross. And even just in 2023, the data that recently came out, there have been 23 different billion-dollar disasters. So 23 events that had more than $1 billion in insured loss. That's a new record here in the U.S. The previous record was 22 just a few years ago, and we're only 8 months into the year. And so you can see that the other concerning piece is the range of disasters. So atmospheric rivers in California, tornadoes and floods in the South and Midwest, extreme weather like we saw in Vermont with once in 100-year floods, and then the extreme heat that's impacting almost every community in the country. All of those point to a real humanitarian crisis, because these disasters are not just impacting towns, they're impacting communities and families that are on the very front lines of vulnerability every single day.
And Trevor, with that said, let's be very clear as we begin to wrap up. What is the call to action for our viewers today?
So we have launched a very ambitious initiative to change the outcomes for families and communities moving forward. We expect we'll need to spend at least $1 billion over the next several years to make sure we can adapt and grow our mission to provide more services and more equitable help to families in need. To expand our capacity, we need more volunteers, more local partners to get engaged in this work, not only when disasters happen, but before they do, so the communities have the tools and need and the capacity to lead families through this incredibly challenging recovering process. We're shifting our work globally to focus on climate, building up programs to engage youth leaders in the climate process, but also focusing on things like high heat and urban areas with challenges. And lastly, we're doing our own part to reduce our own impact on the planet by reducing emissions, slashing waste, and reducing our water usage. And so the call to action is we need everybody to be a part of this work. And you can go to redcross.org to sign up to be a volunteer today. You can go to redcross.org to get your own family prepared and ready. And you can also go to redcross.org to make a donation to be a part of the resource we need to do this incredibly complex work every single day.